Welcome to Arguably Correct. I'm Jeff.
Hello, and I'm Jay.
Today we're going to chat about House Bill 228, Ohio House Bill 228. Stand your ground. Stand your ground law.
Yeah, and this we put a post out asking you guys what you wanted to hear.
So thanks, Alexis, for putting that out there.
Yep.
We'll try to slaughter this as best we can. We are not attorneys, but we have a lot of paper here that the government has provided us to read. I don't know how the hell they pass any of this stuff.
I didn't read it.
I
Did
really
you read
need
it?
No.
Okay.
But it reminds me of Bible verses. If you ever go and look one of these things up, they have numbers for
They're so
each
difficult
line
to
of.
read.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonder anything gets passed in this government. It's insane.
And that the side thing of that is that nothing gets passed without a bunch of other concessions. So there are things in every bill that have nothing to do with the main point of it. Because somebody's like, well, I'll vote yes if you give me this for my district or whatever. So besides all the pork and all the crap, we're just, I think,
Somewhere in here they're saving a toad.
Yeah.
I know they are. Somewhere there's some toad that they're trying to save on some guy's farm.
Endangered toad.
Endangered toad.
But the guy who wants to save the toad donated a lot of money, so he's now in the bill.
Probably so.
But I think we're just going to focus.
We're going to call him Toady McGee.
So we're going to focus more on that aspect of it, or just the aspect of the stand your ground law in general.
We'll start there.
It's very close to mimicking Florida's as far as the legality of it.
I'm truly a little ignorant on the actual legalities. I understand the concept of what they're going for, and quite frankly, and Jay and I haven't really spoken about this before, so
which is the fun part.
I
have no idea where you stand, and you know where I stand.
I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say Jay is definitely for this.
I don't know.
Not definitely. Wow.
Not definitely. I'm partially for it, but so the way the law was before, and this hasn't passed yet.
Correct.
It's going.
Yeah, it's passed the House and it has to go.
And I thought I saw that our governor had said that if it shows up on his desk, he's going to veto it anyway.
The shit out of it.
So it's not. I don't think it's even going to be a thing. But it basically takes the castle law, which is you right to defend your property, or not your property, but you're in your home. Somebody breaks in, you can shoot them. There's no, and it puts that out in the general public. Whereas right now, how everything works is you have the duty, even if you're a concealed carry holder or if you're open carrying or whatever, it doesn't matter really how you're carrying, but if someone attacks you, you have the, not the option, but you have to try to retreat. You must. And you can only shoot someone if there's basically no other way. You've got to be in, and you have to prove that in a court, saying that I had no other option, there's nothing else I could do. I had to use deadly force to protect myself. And what stand your ground laws do is they take away the retreat. You no longer have to try to get away. You can just open fire if you're threatened, or in a deadly manner. If somebody's mugging you basically at gunpoint, you can just shoot them.
So let me read a little bit from the bill.
Just I'm gonna go to sleep.
No, not that kind of stuff. But I think to hit on your point a little more clearly is to modify the state preemption of local firearm regulations and regulate remedies, to assign the prosecution the burden of disproving a self-defense or related claim. So now if you claim self-defense, you have to prove that you tried to run away, blah blah blah, that you're in intimate harm. It's on you. But now basically this is flipping it on and saying no, it's on the prosecution.
Correct.
To prove that you didn't have the right to defend yourself or a related claim.
Well, does that, and you don't have to run away anymore.
Well, it says to expand the locations in which a person has no duty to retreat before using force under both civil and criminal law.
Correct.
I think that's important because it's one thing to make criminal law, right? It's one thing to change criminal law. It's another thing to change civil law.
I'm okay with that.
It's interesting. I thought that was kind of. I don't know if other states did the same thing, but they lumped them both together. So
most of them. I know most of them lumped both those together.
And it's to limit the use of the affirmative defense or self-defense, defense of another, or defense of a person's residence under both civil and criminal law, to modify the concealed handgun licensing law regarding the carrying of additional identification, yada, yada, yada.
And
so that kind of goes on.
You don't have to keep your hands in plain view as much anymore. You don't, if you have certain misdemeanors that right now would keep you from getting concealed carry, I know that those go away. You still can if you're a felon, but some misdemeanors can keep you from getting a concealed license. So it removes some of that. It opens it up so that more people can carry.
And also, you can't, you don't have to put up signs that say,
those signs are useless anyway. Did you know that? I learned that in my concealed carry class. I had no idea.
What do you mean they're useless?
It's a sidebar. So, like, you own a business, right? And you put your sign up because you don't want anybody having a firearm.
Oh, okay. I'm not talking about that, but go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's the sign you meant.
No, it's it says to repeal the required posting of warning signs regarding the possession of weapons on specified premises, to provide an affirmation defense to improperly handling firearms and motor vehicle, yada yada. So basically, they're saying here that now, if you have a firearm on that premises, you're supposed to display it, kind of like, hey, dangerous dog. Apparently, that's the law, to repeal the required posting of warning signs regarding the possession of weapons on a specified premises.
That's got to be for businesses. It's not for homes. I don't have to sign up.
No, it's saying that to repeal the required posting of warning signs regarding the possession. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like, I have weapons. I don't have to put a sign out saying I have them.
Warning signs regarding the possession to provide. Yeah, you're probably... see, okay, I misread that.
So
apparently, if you rent a house to you, at least as the law is now, you can tell them they can or can't have a weapon in the house.
Is that true?
So the latter part of it is...
I don't think that's true.
The latter part of this law is to generally bar any subsidized residential premise lease from requiring a tenant to agree to a restriction on a lawful firearm. So you can restrict it. Apparently, obviously they're trying to change it, so I would assume that the law is current.
Yeah.
A firearm component or ammunition within the tenant's rental dwelling unit, and to exclude certain firearms from the definitions of sawed-off firearm and dangerous ordnance. So that right there is one of the line items that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? So you got the stand your ground. Now they're saying that they want to change the definition of a sawed-off or dangerous ordnance.
They're adding something else in. Then I'm sure the NRA was like, hey, chuck this in there too. And but so it comes down to, do people have the right to defend themselves? And I think that the answer should be
lethal force.
Absolutely. So if someone pulls a gun on you and they're going to rob you.
Okay, so that's lethal force against lethal force.
Or if they're just beating the shit out of you. Maybe if you feel endangered to the point where they're going to affect your life or your livelihood, should you have the option to, take steps to protect yourself?
And that happens. There's a certain case that was going on about a person came out and was complaining about the girlfriend parking.
Oh, the Florida one.
Yeah,
that was a bullshit shoot. That guy never should have gotten shot. Now that guy came out.
The guy was scared. He pushed. He touched. Put hands on him. You don't know what's going to happen after that.
Right,
to your argument, though, that's exactly where that is.
No,
that dude could have killed him.
And he is, for a while there, he wasn't being charged. Now he is, and I think rightfully so, because the guy pushed him. Should the guy have done that? Absolutely not. Now, did the guy get on him and start beating the shit out of him? No, he didn't. He pushed him and then he walked away. So was the guy who pushed him wrong? Fuck yes. He took it physical when I don't think he should have.
But do you think that? Do you think if laws like this pass, let's say nationally,
there'll be more of those shootings?
Maybe so, but do you think that people that might be a little more aggressive, and the road rage people who come up and might put hands on you, would think twice about that now? Because
maybe,
hey, you know what? So. Just because you're a little pipsqueak and you don't look like you can fight, and I can whoop your ass,
you might have a Kimber 45 tucked away in your side.
I have something that will level out the playing field here.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Deterrence is always better than using it. Like I have firearms, and the last thing I'd ever want to do is have to shoot somebody. There are nut jobs out there that can't wait to shoot someone, and I think those people will take advantage of it, and they might put themselves in a situation
kind of like that guy did. Yeah, he didn't have to engage them people over a parking spot.
No, and even if he did, I don't think did he get assaulted? Yes, clearly, there's no question about that. Did that assault constitute deadly force? I believe.
Where's the line though? How do you define that?
The guy pushed him over and then walked away from him.
But what if the guy pushed him? Pushed him and he fell down and hit his head.
Correct. It's
you touch me. There's an opportunity for you to do physical harm and/or kill me.
But he is being charged now, and he'll probably get found guilty.
I can't say that I disagree with it, but in thinking about this, as I know we're coming in to talk about this, and we don't usually kind of pick a topic this early, so it's a little different for us. But we wanted to stay on focus to one particular thing here. But that was my thought is. Man, if I'm getting faced with somebody who, just puts their hands up and wants to throw fists, wants to catch a fist. Like, oh, you shouldn't have shot that guy. He just wanted a fair fight, It's like, yeah, but I'm not a fighter,
and maybe you didn't want to fight.
And you know what? Maybe that man knows how, or woman for that matter, or whatever gender they might be.
Look at you covering every base.
Whatever spectrum they may be.
How many genders are there?
That's
different
infinite,
podcast.
Infinite, that's right. So when they, now see, we can use they in this context.
I think you have to.
That's right. When they lay hands on you,
they them there,
you don't know. What kind of damage that person can or can't do.
And you shouldn't put hands on anybody.
Well, that's it, right?
It comes down to that.
But it does people do.
Is this a license to shoot anybody who touches you?
It seems like it.
And what if, that's why I'm not sure, because I'm definitely an advocate of firearms.
But hold on, to the letter of the law, just like you said, though, it puts the burden of the proof on the prosecution.
Correct.
To, argue away self-defense.
Correct.
So, if the guy just barely got, shoved, touched. So it's going to be a fairly, I won't say easy case, but it's going to be an easier case for the prosecution than it would be if, there was a knockdown rumble.
But that's because there was video of this case. So what happens when there isn't video? Some guys get in an argument over whatever, or girls, or we do have to keep doing that every single time. People get in an argument.
But are they people? Maybe they identify as
then that's their problem. I refuse to play. So they get pushed. Maybe not even down. Somebody just pushes them because they're angry and their emotions are getting the better of them. I don't think that person deserves to be shot. You have to use some common sense in this still. And maybe this law will take away some of that common sense, and people will, people who are carrying right now know that they have to try to get away. It has to be a straight-up life and death situation before you can use your firearm. And that's how it should be treated. And now maybe this is going to allow some people who are already a little, trigger happy, to be like, well, this guy pushed me, he shoots somebody, and now it's his word against it. How is the prosecution going to prove that this was or wasn't self-defense, especially with no video? It's very difficult at that point. It puts you in a tough spot. I mean, you could literally shoot somebody. You could walk down the street, shoot somebody that you don't even know, and then you could bash your head into the brick wall and say, hey, that's what they did to me. And now the prosecution has to now prove otherwise. So I just think it's, and there's not a lot. I don't think there's as many of these shootings as people think. Majority of gun violence happens from, suicides or, other factors. It's not, I don't know. It's an iffy thing for me. Part of me is for it for me, because I know that I'm responsible, and if somebody pushes me, I'm not going to pull out a gun and fucking shoot them, because I don't ever want to shoot anybody. But if someone is threatening my life, I'd like to have the ability to protect myself, and I would shoot someone if I had to. But that's just me. There are other people out there who can get their firearms, and maybe they're just itching for the opportunity. And plus, there are people out there, and I know this. Going through my class, I saw some people like this. Just one, really, but who this guy wants to shoot somebody. Like he's been robbed a few times at his job. He's been slighted, and he's just looking. And now he's like, I'm the badass with the gun. Wait till this happens again. I can't wait to show them. And I'm like, dude, why would you ever want to be in that situation? I would never want to have to use my firearm on somebody, ever.
Why do you think he does?
Because he's been bullied and he's been pushed around, and now the gun makes him feel powerful. And now he's legally got his gun, he's legally got his concealed carry, and he's legally allowed to defend himself.
I'm going to show you, Mr. Bully Boy.
Exactly. I'm going to fucking kill you because, you robbed me. And now...
She's saying the worst bully is probably a bullied person that now has mechanical advantage.
Legal mechanical advantage. And again, maybe it's not that big of a deal. That's just my personal take on it. So do I like the fact that if this would pass, which again it probably isn't going to, but if it did, do I like the idea that I could protect myself and not have to worry so much about it? Yes, I like that idea for me.
You know what? I like the idea of the government, the prosecution having to prove that it wasn't self-defense. I really like that verbiage because
I do too, a little bit.
It's
innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Innocent until proven guilty.
In so many cases now, it's not that way.
It's not. It's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, you have to prove that you're.
It seems that way.
I think it's how it is.
Just the fact that you can stay in jail for a year before you get, a trial. I know it's fair and balanced.
Fair and speedy trial.
what is that definition, right?
It's subjective.
It is subjective.
And
I guess it depends on your flight risk and stuff like that.
Positive lawsuits and the fact that you took too long to process my case, I don't think that ever happens. I think you're just fucked until you're, get it figured out.
So I just kind of looked up a little gun-related statistics, and I was interested when you said suicide. And suicide, you're right, is responsible for a lot
the majority
more.
Of gun deaths.
Majority of gun deaths. Looks like, according to the Wikipedias.
Oh, well, that's never wrong.
That's never wrong.
Hey, add something in there real quick. Tell them that the highest gun deaths is from squirt guns. Just type that in and see how it flies.
See how that goes over.
Yeah.
It looks like something between 20 and 25,000 deaths in 2016 were attributed to suicides, and homicides was about less than 15,000.
Yeah.
Still a lot of numbers. I mean, that's...
Oh, it's still high.
Yeah, it's high.
Yeah. I don't think it's as high as some people like to make it out to be, but it's still high.
The odd thing here is the trend was going down since 2007, but as of 2014, it started to go up by homicides, which I thought was interesting. But the suicide rate since 2008, well, we all know what happened then. The recession. That was a tough one.
It was a tough one.
I mean, personally, not the sidebar. I think I'm just now starting to be where I was 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Hit me pretty hard. But, yeah, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but I mean...
15,000 people.
Well...
And that's just the United States.
And that's just firearms. We're not even... That's not right. Suicides. That's just by fire. We're not talking about anything else.
So let's just say it's that 15,000 murders, homicides with firearm in the United States over everything, drug-related, every crime or non-crime, for that matter, is in that number.
Yeah.
Of 15,000 people that lost their lives, if the Stand Your Ground law was national,
no,
do you think we would have an increase in that number?
Well,
do you think so?
I don't know if it's going to affect it because that's
I wonder how many...
That's homicides, right?
Homicides, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, how many of those are... crime-related?
That's what I'm saying. What's the percentage, right? So
I don't think we know. At least I don't know.
I'd be curious to know, like if.
But you can see in Chicago, there's more firearm deaths than in, Fremont, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio.
Per capita, even
No,
general and per capita.
Flat number, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you're in the. I mean, I hate to say this, but I know in Toledo it seems a lot of the firearm deaths that we get reported. I don't want to say are people in the game, but it's in the game, I guess.
Yeah.
There was a feud of some sort.
You're doing nefarious shit to begin with, and maybe yeah.
And it doesn't seem like just it's a random walk up on the street, and take somebody out. There's usually some kind of provocation.
It doesn't usually happen, and when it does, it's generally, I think, gang related, like the initiations. You got to go kill somebody to get in the gang, and
it does. It kills me. It's like, oh, I don't want to walk downtown because I'm afraid I'm going to get shot. It's like,
I don't feel like that.
Are you selling drugs? Are you peddling stolen shit?
Are you out fucking with people?
Yeah, are you out messing with people?
Yeah, are you poking the fucking bear?
I would say if you, I mean, innocent people do get killed. Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
But
happen.
I would say it's a minority of people, and they're usually probably closely related to the other people doing nefarious shit.
And there are some just flat out bullshit people who get caught up in something and
walking down the street and they get caught in drive-by. It does happen,
Absolutely.
and it's terrible.
It is.
But so I mean, would this law, save the innocent? Or really condemn somebody who might just be an asshole and wanted to throw some fists at you.
And I think it's like anything else, man. It's case by case. Like the guy in Florida. I think most people have seen the video. If not, you can look it up. Look if you Google search or YouTube search "Stand Your Ground" in Florida, this video will show up. And I think that guy was out of line, pulling his weapon and firing on the guy. Okay, maybe he felt threatened because the guy pushed him down. Maybe at that point you do wield your weapon. You do pull it, which you really shouldn't do unless you're ready to use it. But that probably at that point would have been enough, I think. The guy didn't look to me like he was coming back after him. So, I don't know.
But what if that guy had a gun now? He felt threatened.
Well, exactly.
So how would that work under this law, right? So
you're getting into attorney questions.
Well,
now.
It's interesting. So how would that work?
You are not allowed to be the aggressor. So, by speaking to this man's girlfriend and saying you shouldn't be parking here, you're not an aggressor at that point. So, when the guy comes out and shoves the other guy, he has now made himself the aggressor, which means he has no legal right to defend himself. Meaning, even if the other guy, whatever, you can't walk up and hit somebody and then they pull a gun on you and then you pull your gun and shoot them. You were the aggressor. You started that fight. And that's how it works right now with the general law. You're not, if you're a concealed carry holder and you are the aggressor in any situation and you use your firearm, you're going to jail for murder. And that's
you should, right?
Rightfully so, absolutely. You can't have that mentality of, oh, I've got a firearm, I'm a badass, and go fuck with people. That's fucking stupid. You're gonna get yourself either in jail or killed, or kill somebody. Which would, again, why would you ever want to do that?
So do you think if this law is passed, general public would feel that let's say the general firearm carrying public would be more likely to put themselves in situations that they feel that they could defend themselves where they wouldn't have previous? Does that make? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I gotcha. I think there'd be a minority that yes would do that.
I'm gonna go walk down an alley at 2 a.m.
because I'm a badass.
Because I can defend myself now.
Yeah. Where I wouldn't have walked down there before. But again, I think it's...
Is that self-defense? I mean, can an attorney sit here and go like,
no, you're allowed to walk. You are allowed to walk down an alley.
It doesn't matter what, it's true. That's a good point.
No, you shouldn't. Right. But again, the majority of people that I know, barring that one guy I was in that class with, but majority go, they take this class, and they're people like me. They're responsible gun owners that don't want to ever have to use their gun. They like having the option, but like I didn't go get a concealed carry, and now I don't do anything different in my life. I don't look for trouble. I would have tried to avoid it at all costs. Probably more so. I was probably more of a dick before I had a concealed carry because I don't want to have to ever shoot anybody.
Well, now you're looked at differently though too.
Well,
right, because you have it, whereas before,
but people don't know. Well, now people know.
I mean, in the law, like it's
correct.
It's one thing to, because
you're held to a higher standard.
Yeah. Thank you. You're held to a higher standard.
And we took the course and we learned what you can and can't do. And
so now
if you act out, you're
kind of screwed.
You're held to a higher standard than somebody who is necessarily like open carrying. Because open carry you don't need a license for. You can just
correct.
Anybody who can own a firearm can strap one on as long as it's out in the open and go about their day with their firearm.
I'll be honest with you. The only real attraction for me in a concealed carry situation, the attraction is I don't have to think about how I transport it as much as I would have the other way, because you got to have everything separate. There's a lot that goes to it. There's almost more that goes into it without the concealed carry.
Concealed
which
carry,
wait a minute,
pretty much
right.
Take it.
I guess it kind of boggles my mind a little bit, but
well, there's still rules with how you carry it in a car.
True, but they're not as intrusive as they were before.
They're not as intrusive, but if you do it incorrectly and get caught, you're in a lot more trouble.
Not according to the new House Bill 228.
Not according to the new House Bill 228.
That's right. They are, looking to reduce the basically make it, I don't want to say easier, but you're not going to get hit as hard if you violate certain parts of the law.
Well, and also
in good order anyway. I think the spirit of the law is, that you're not trying, it just happened to happen or whatever,
But if you get a cop who doesn't like, and some cops are very pro concealed carry, and some are very anti. There's rarely anybody in the middle.
Well, nobody wants anybody shooting back at them.
Maybe they shouldn't be shooting at people.
That's true. I really believe that, and we don't want to get on the cops.
No, we've done that. Mm-hmm. We're not going back.
Rules of engagement.
House Bill 2. I'm very torn on this bill. I don't, and I'd be very curious to what any listener would have to comment on and say about this, because there's such a spectrum on this, and I find myself oddly in the middle. I'm usually very much decisive one way or the other on most things, and this one I can't.
I watched this video.
Can't put myself on either side.
I watched this video, and it was. I should have not watched it, but I watched it anyway, and it was two young ladies. I assume they're ladies. I assume their gender. And
can we just move past that?
So there's two.
We're gonna do a gender episode.
There's two people.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible. Yeah.
Working in, it looked like a carry out of some sort, and somebody comes in and robs it.
Okay.
And as the guy's robbing it, he's not. He doesn't seem to be accosting the workers there at all. He's just basically doing what he needs and getting his stuff out.
All right.
And so he gets the money and he goes out, and this is all you can see from the camera. So I'm going to assume some points. So he leaves. He goes out of the building, and one of the workers pulls the gun. There's two guns underneath the counter, and they both grab guns. So, and they go out the door and start firing the gun at, and I don't know where this guy is, if he's just like...
Doesn't matter.
It might be a different part of the store. I can't tell. But
But
they went out. I can't tell. I'm assuming
he's
that he's
outside the
leaving.
door?
I'm assuming.
Yeah, if he's outside the door, you can't do that.
So they're out there and they fire, and all of a sudden he comes back in, right? And tries to take the gun from the one woman.
How'd she let him get that close? She's got a fucking gun.
They're terrible shots. I mean, they're just doom, 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 doom. And, I mean, when you're in that situation, you just basically point and shoot.
I know, but
And so
if you're 20 feet away, okay, I might miss you. If you're 5 feet away, there's no fucking way I'm missing you.
So he has her under control, and he's trying to wrestle the gun away from her. And the other woman is like, you can see her arm like following his motions, like she's gonna fire. I'm like, holy crap, she's gonna fire, and she does. She fires, misses him, misses her thankfully too.
That's good.
And then the woman, she must have grazed him or something, because it kind of pulls away from the other woman, and she turns around and she got him. That one stung, but he's still going, man. I don't know where the hell he hit him. But he's still going, and he's starting to struggle. Gets the other one, and she puts a couple more, and he's still trying to stumble around the
Getting
store.
slower.
You can tell that he's going
now.
down.
Yeah,
but it just seemed like that was completely unnecessary.
Well, and
the guy was gone,
and here's
just taking freaking money, man. Let him go.
Here's the problem with that. Was there audio to this?
Again, I'm making a lot.
I know,
which
is fine. I don't blame you for the assumptions. And can you chase someone out of your house, or if they have
is
left?
That self-defense now?
No, hell no.
Is it? I mean, you don't know if they're coming back. So don't you want to eliminate
and that's the thing,
threat?
Like with this, the threat is only there if they're inside your home. So somebody can camp out in my front yard and yell things and do whatever they want, and unless they're pointing a gun at me, I can't really do anything about that. So,
not according to this law.
What, did they change that in this
to
law?
expand the locations at which a person has no duty to retreat before using force under civil and criminal law.
But
so
you still need to have expanding it, meaning it's taking your castle law and putting it out in public. So like right now, if someone breaks in my house, I don't have to find out what they're doing. Correct. I can just take them down.
Yeah, you have no duty to retreat.
Correct. If I'm in a park right now and somebody attacks me, I've got to try my best to get away from that situation, to diffuse it without using deadly force. They're going to expand castle law to the park and to wherever else, public areas. But these people, the question for them now is, would that guy have come back had they not went out and shot? Now, if they don't go out and shoot and the guy comes back in, okay, defend yourself. But to go out, like now you don't know why the guy came back in. So you're probably going to get in trouble for murder at that point. And again, you should never want to kill someone. So did you create the situation by you are now the aggressor? You went out and took shots at him.
I
outside
agree.
of where you should have been.
I don't know all the details, but given what you see there without audio, and
that doesn't sound
else,
good for them.
It doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
for
so
me. I mean,
if someone comes into my house and they break in, and let's say I'm upstairs and I hear them and I come downstairs, and of course I'll be packing at that point, and I see them exiting out my door and leaving, I cannot then go out my door and shoot them dead in my driveway. I can't do that. And even under standard ground law, I still can't do that. They're not posing a threat. They're retreating. They're leaving. I don't have any right under this law or the current law to murder them. Mm-hmm. Now, if they break in and I happen to see them in my home, and if they're not carrying a TV or something, if they're, I don't know what they're there for, I don't have to find out. I can just shoot them.
Who the hell can carry these big ass TVs anymore?
I know, right?
I mean,
everybody uses TV.
Yeah, I know, but
that's how it used to be.
But then again, it seems like it'd be a lot easier now. They're a hell of a lot lighter than they ever used to be.
Okay, good luck unhooking mine from the
there
wall.
There you go. Yeah,
and then lugging that 70-inch bitch out the door. Like it took me 2 people to get it in here.
I mean, I'm sure house robberies happen, but I truly don't know anybody that's ever had their house robbed. Not that I can think of.
And
at least not in the last 10 years.
And I'm not even like, I don't. If I wasn't home and somebody came in and broke into my house and stole my shit, I don't care. It's shit. It's stuff. Mm-hmm. It's all replaceable. But if I'm home and my family's home and you're in my house, I don't know if you're there to rob me or if you're there for anything else, and I'm not going to find out. I'm shooting first and figuring everything out later.
And I've said that too. Like I probably would be less likely to defend myself than I would someone else.
Yeah.
If it's
you got to be careful doing that too.
Yeah, true. In this new law, it does apply for that.
You still got to be careful. There's a story of a gentleman who walked in and saw these two guys fighting, and the guy winning the fight at the time, I mean, he was really going to town on this dude. So this again, I think trigger happy guy who wanted to shoot somebody pulls his firearm out and kills the guy. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that he killed the wrong guy.
See, I had a crazy dream.
The guy on the ground,
was actually like a
was
good
the
guy.
aggressor.
Right. Oh, the aggressor. Okay.
Yeah, so he killed the guy. The guy on top at the time, he came in partway through, not seeing the beginning of it.
Right.
Saw some guy getting beat up and shot him. Well, it turns out that guy was defending himself.
Correct. Okay.
So this guy's now in prison.
I had a terrible dream about that. I mean, not to bring up dreams, but a similar situation, in this dream, and there's an active shooter situation. It's terrible in this day that that's a dream you have, but it's up on this like.
It's not the kind Martin Luther had, man.
So you climb up. This guy was up in like a higher up anyway. I climb up this thing, and here's this guy with this rifle, and I had a pistol, and I literally shot him right in the head, and then of course. I feel horrible that I just killed somebody, but I think I just saved everybody because this guy is, got this rifle and he's shooting down. Come to find out, there was an active shooter on the ground, and he was actually trying to take the shooter out. And then so the cops arrest me, and of course I'm screaming, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
I thought I was doing a good thing.
I thought I was doing the right thing, and it's like too late, buddy. Sorry,
that's why
you made a bad choice. I woke up from that sweat, and I'm like, "Holy crap! That would be." This was just a dream, and it was over.
You have some weird fucking dreams, man.
If this was in real life, I mean, you're just beating
done.
your brain, going, I thought I was doing the right thing.
You're done at that point.
So I mean,
of course, why did that guy have a rifle? Like your dream wasn't matching up because you can't conceal carry a rifle.
Well,
it's a handgun license. You can't carry a rifle that way.
I was gonna say physically you can. You ever seen Janko jeans, man? You never see anything in there.
I guess you could.
You get some of those 90 pants, man. You
carry a couple
sawed off shotguns and the crossbow and everything else, and never see anything down there.
My buddy Knuckles calls my gopher duster.
Your what?
My sniper rifle.
Oh, gopher duster.
Yeah, I shot a gopher with it once, and it just sort of went.
Oh man, pink mist.
It was. I should not have used that weapon for that.
Probably not.
That was an overkill.
Literally.
Yeah,
that was literally.
I was surprised at the outcome as well. But I'm glad I got the guy because he's fucking my yard up. But
I mean, he just wanted to eat some.
Yeah, but he's fucking my yard up. That's a pest.
You got a big yard. What do you do with it? You let dogs shit in it. I mean,
so what? But it's still
the gopher. He
puts. The gopher trails. They're so fucking hard to push back down and mow over. They fucking.
You mean the molehills?
Yeah, those things.
That's a mole, not a gopher.
Whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Gopher dig holes.
Okay, well, I don't know what he was doing. It was a thing that I didn't like.
It was probably a woodchuck. Is that the same thing as a gopher?
I think it was a woodchuck. I couldn't really tell because there was nothing left of him.
Oh, gosh.
It's a 7.62 by 54R. It was just a stupid sniper round. I never should have used it for that, but
it's interesting.
It was handy.
I was watching a YouTube video about deadly ammunition, like the top 10 most deadly ammunition there is. Now, do you think
missiles?
Well, we're talking about handgun, handgun ammunition. And how the police use hollow points, but then there's
so do most citizens.
Well, then there's another one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's cut in like 12 weird ways. It's hollow point with other cuts made into it. And I'm thinking, if you're using a gun for self-defense, like those ladies, let's just say they were defending themselves.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like they were, but
it doesn't sound. It didn't look like it. Any one time they could just.
Sounds like the adrenaline got to him, and they were like, "Fuck this guy! I'm gonna get him." Yeah, that's not how it works.
But so do you go with like the most lethal round you can get?
Yes.
Or do you go with maybe if I shoot, it's just gonna maim them?
Nope. Nope.
Shoot to kill, huh?
Yep. That's what you're. I mean,
dead people don't sue.
That honestly,
I have heard that.
I hope this never comes back in court, but yeah, that's part of it. Dead people don't sue, and
their families.
Yeah, but they're probably not going to win.
Really?
I mean, if you're robbing my house, really, you don't. Come on now,
man. Remember that story years ago about the guy who locked himself in somebody's garage while trying to rob the place and wound up being able to sue him because he.
I know. Yeah, you hear all those frivolous bullshit lawsuits.
I would just love to know his attorney. I need that guy.
Yeah, right. I'm sure somebody did something to me at some point. I want some money. So,
for sure.
But yeah, you just like people say, why couldn't they just shoot him in the leg, or why couldn't they wing him or put him down? I'm like, no, that's not how this works. Like, you only bring that weapon out if you have to use it to defend your life, and at that point, you're not, I shoot somebody in the leg and then they pull their weapon and kill me, and then they go about doing whatever they're going to do. You're raping the family and whatever, killing everybody else. No, you're not supposed to ever aim for the head or for any appendages. You always aim for center mass.
Center mass.
Yeah, always. Never.
So what do you think if so you are acting within say this law passes,
Mm-hmm.
and you're acting within the law, you're defending yourself, which is a really bad shot, and you shoot somebody else on accident because you miss.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to. I would assume at that point you're liable,
It would seem so.
you are taught that you need to know. I mean, this is like basic firearm training. You need to know where your rounds are going, no matter if you're in a. If
You have to be responsible
If you're
for 'em,
shooting
right?
in your backyard or
Yeah.
if you're defending yourself, you have to know where that round is going. Just like in home defense, there are certain rounds I should never grab the duster and use that in my home because it's going to go through every fucking wall I've got, and who knows where after that. I'm not being responsible at that point.
Right.
You don't know where your round's going to go. So I think that, yeah, if you're going to pull your firearm and use it, you need. I would assume you'd be on the hook for that. I don't think you can just accidentally I protected myself and I accidentally killed old poor nun lady walking across the street, but don't charge me for it. I was just defending myself. Like, no, you probably shouldn't have.
So who do you think, if you had to describe the Ohioan who would be for this bill, stereotype him or her or it?
Well,
Could you do it?
I don't think I
Is there a
could.
stereotype? You think?
I don't think so because I'm kind of for the bill.
Right.
But again, on a personal level, for me,
When you say kind of, is there a tweak that you would do to it to make it more?
no, I don't think so.
No.
I mean kind of meaning I like it for me. It expands my ability to protect myself and my family. I think there are some people out there that maybe would use it the wrong way. And that's why I'm not necessarily for it. That's why I'm so torn on it. If I could look at it just for me and not worry about any of my fellow citizens and be like, would I like to have this? Yes. Do I think it's for everybody? Probably not. Are there people that might abuse it or just get that mentality of, I have a gun and I'm a badass, now I don't have to retreat, I can just fucking kill you? I don't know. And I don't know how often that happens either. But it clearly happened in Florida.
A few times.
I don't think that guy should have pulled his weapon and used it.
It was the Trayvon Martin case too. Wasn't that under that law too? I'm just saying
it was under
the
that
argument.
law.
Yeah,
but I don't know because again now you get there's no video, so we only have the word of the one guy because the other guy's not alive anymore.
Right.
So he was bleeding, he was fucked up a little bit, but he also had his gun. He was the watch neighborhood watch, and he was following the kid. So maybe the kid was like, hey, who the fuck are you? And
right.
So it seemed almost like a justifiable shooting in the aspect that he was being attacked. But did he put himself in that situation?
To be attacked.
Well, right now, the way the law is, without stand your ground, you can't put yourself in the situation. In stand your ground, I think he was justified in what he was doing, and that's why it became what it became. And I think that's why he ended up getting off in general, because he's allowed to walk and follow somebody. You're allowed to do that.
Well, I mean, imagine that you're in your own property and you think you see somebody out in the backyard. And wait, who the hell is that? And you have your weapon on. And you go out there and you kind of look around the back side of your garage or whatever, and shit,
I've done
there's
that.
somebody there now,
Yeah.
and now you have to shoot him. Now, I mean,
No,
theoretically,
you don't just shoot him.
no, I'm not saying you just shoot him. I'm saying, he seems to be aggressing you. You not chased him, but you went and saw. He was trying to hide from you. You found him.
Yeah.
He's cornered, or her, or it. I'm done. Everybody's him.
You're gonna bother me.
I know. I
so
just love doing it. But
the listeners probably don't care at all. But you're doing it to poke me.
I am poking you a little bit. So you pursued that person, even though you didn't really do it. You're like curious, trying to figure out who was there, what was there, and then you find this person's here, and they start to aggress, whatever that may be, and you have to defend yourself. I mean, you can wage a logical argument like there was no reason for you to go out there and see that person. You should have stayed in your home and.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Would you lose or win on this?
Right now, you'd lose.
I mean, if the stand your ground
If to stand your ground, if you're on your property, you'd win. I believe under
is
stand
that
your
still
ground.
self-defense though? You chased the guy. Essentially, you didn't chase, you didn't run, but you saw it.
But you're also on your own property. See, the castle rule or castle law
You don't
only
have to
works
retreat.
inside your home.
And you don't have to retreat, right?
Yeah, but that's only inside your home. It does not count if your garage is detached from your home. It doesn't work in your garage either.
Right.
So right now, under the current castle law, if I'm at my garage and somebody comes in and tries to rob me or whatever else they're going to do, I can't act the same way as I would in my home. Now, if my garage was attached to the house, I could. So with stand your ground law, yeah, if they're on my yard and I'm on my property, the castle law basically applies to my yard now. So yeah, could I chase them out and find them? And if they became aggressive, could I shoot them? Yes. And it would then now it's the prosecution's job to prove that I did something wrong. They got to prove that I was the aggressor. I was the the one acting inappropriate.
So I guess that really comes up to, are Ohioans mature enough to handle this kind of responsibility?
Of course not. Oddly,
so is this a time the government should give us more? I mean, be more controlled with it.
I don't even like your sentence. Is this a time for the government to give us more power? Like, they shouldn't be in the way to begin with.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know. It's very difficult. I mean,
I would say if you're going to pin me down, I will almost always say the people need more rights, not less.
Yeah.
And just that is my principal thought.
Libertarian idea.
Libertarian
stay
idea.
out of it.
And are there going to be consequences? Yes, absolutely.
But I think it's going to be fewer. I think that most people, if this would pass, which I don't think it's going to, I think most people would be like me. Majority of people I know that own guns are they're not looking for trouble. It's strictly protection. There are a couple. You're always going to have a couple bad ones, just like anything else,
And I would say, ordinarily, I'm not really for the idea of the law, but I am always. I shouldn't say always. I hate always. I hate affirmatives.
I know.
I am.
You're stuck then.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what about this?
Fuck,
exactly. You got me.
I'm more inclined to side with anything that gives more rights to the people. And that's essentially what it is. It's more responsibility too, and if you skirt that responsibility,
with great rights comes great responsibility.
For sure,
it does though.
If you're going to have that responsibility, then you have to realize the consequences of not handling that responsibility accordingly. There's that whole thing like I'll give you a long leash, but as soon as you hit the end of it, or you break out and I'm going to shorten it up, and you're going to get
and it's going to be different.
It's going to be bad.
And I really think that if you're just using it the right way to defend yourself, maybe like you said, people don't learn lessons. That's not how life really works. It'd be great if it did, but they don't. But yeah, the idea of, okay, well, if this passes and now, people are aware of it, which again, they probably won't be because they don't know what's going on. But maybe it would keep somebody from ever putting hands on somebody. That would be the ideal situation. Hey, I'm not going to fuck with this guy because he might shoot me and get away with it. So
it doesn't even have to put hands. I mean, you're going self-defense. The guy could just be screaming at you obscenities. I'm going to whoop your ass, but he hasn't thrown a certain fight.
Stand your ground will not cover that.
You don't think so?
No, I don't
Why?
think.
If I'm verbally threatening you,
that's verbal.
But it's still I'm defending myself.
No, you're not. No, that's not how.
So he has to touch me.
You have to
brush me.
You have to be under.
He, she.
And this is our last podcast ever. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. You have to be under. I forget how they term it. I don't want to read through this whole bill. This thing is so many fucking pages long.
I mean, the main part of it doesn't say anything about that.
You have to be under legitimate threat for your safety, well-being, or life. Now, if somebody yelling at you or using speech against you, you can't shoot them for that. Under any law, you can't just. If somebody walks by and starts calling me names or screaming at me or saying I'm going to fucking kill you, if they're 10 feet away screaming,
and they step to you,
it doesn't matter.
So they have to touch you first.
Now, if they're coming at you like aggressively, if they're about to attack you, I think then maybe.
I don't know. If somebody coming at me cussing me saying they're going to beat my ass walking to me, that's pretty aggressive.
Maybe, but I'm just saying words alone, if you're not posing a threat.
It's a slippery slope.
It is. And I think
because the law says that it's on the defense or on the prosecution to prove that it's not self-defense.
Correct.
So if I feel, and you know how feels are more important than anything these days.
Me and my fifis. Shout out to Josh O'Brien.
If my feels say that you're going to harm me by your body actions, your body language.
It's subjective. Yeah.
It is, but I mean, just because.
Why can't we just all be nice to each other?
Because we're animals. I mean, that's the honest truth. There, we're animals, and anybody who doesn't agree with that, you know what?
Did you just assume my species?
I didn't assume your species. No.
You said I'm an animal.
No, I assumed your kingdom.
I said identity.
I assumed your kingdom, not your
not my genus.
Not your genus,
my genus.
or your species. That's right. Not your phylum, not your order. Just
I identify as stellar trash.
Stellar trash.
A collection of stellar trash. That's what I identify as, and I prefer if you would.
I'll totally refer to you as stellar trash. So this is Jeff, and with ST.
Oh no, I was just joking.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
so we'll wrap it up. I'd like to know what you think. You're out there listening. I want to know what you think. Put a comment down.
Yeah. Check us out. You can hit us up on Facebook. You can leave comments on the main page, Libsyn. We have all the links. Facebook's probably the best place, and I'm not a big Facebook fan, but it's a great place.
That sounds like another subject.
Yeah, social media. And speaking of social media, Reddit. We're also on Reddit, Twitter.
I don't even know what Reddit is.
Yeah, well, it's pretty awesome.
All right, good.
But so my stance is, I'm for it. I'm not. I don't feel good about it, but I think, again, more rights to the people. You, final word? You got to pick one side or the other.
I got to pick.
You do.
If I have to pick,
I'm going to abstain.
If I have to pick, I'm going to say for it.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
you're arguably correct.
Thanks for listening.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Damn it.